Before we start, I want to say that only 1% of you are subscribed. Please subscribe because at 1,000 subscribers, I will post a special video for you.
The Galactic Council had rarely been so divided. For millennia, the classification of Deathworlds had been a scientific certainty, planets so hostile to life that even the most advanced civilizations hesitated to approach them. The mere mention of Class 13, the highest tier, sent chills through the chambers of the Council. Yet now, a species from such a planet, the humans, had not only survived but joined the interstellar community. Earth's classification had remained an obscure footnote in the galactic archives until humanity's first contact. That changed when human diplomats began trading on the galactic stage, their presence drawing whispers and unease. The Council had to act. A team of experts was assembled to determine the truth behind Earth's classification, and a mission was set to investigate the planet directly. Leading the human delegation was Ambassador Lyra Vey, a calm but determined representative of her people. The research vessel, a sleek Draenix-made craft named Illuminar, arrived in Earth's orbit amidst turbulent conditions. A Category 5 hurricane swirled over the Atlantic Ocean, its massive eye visible from space. The alien crew, a mix of species unaccustomed to Earth's volatility, watched with a mixture of awe and terror as lightning crackled through the clouds. "This planet radiates hostility," remarked Dr. Zaltir, the gaseous Ethelian leading the mission. His amorphous form shimmered in agitation. "And you say this storm is normal?" "Normal for hurricane season," replied Ambassador Vey, her tone nonchalant. "It's not even the largest we've seen." The ship descended cautiously, avoiding the worst of the storm. It landed in the Amazon basin, chosen for its biodiversity. As the hatch opened, a wave of oppressive heat and humidity greeted the team. For the humans, it was typical tropical weather. For the aliens, it was suffocating. Dr. Zaltir floated beside Lyra as they stepped into the rainforest. His gaseous form condensed slightly, a sign of discomfort. "This air is laden with water vapor. It clogs my sensors." "It's called humidity," Lyra said with a wry smile. "You get used to it." As the team ventured deeper, the rainforest revealed its secrets. Towering trees stretched skyward, their canopies blocking the sun and creating a twilight world below. The alien researchers scanned the flora and fauna, cataloging creatures that seemed to defy reason. A jaguar slinked through the underbrush, its golden eyes watching them intently before disappearing into the shadows. "This environment is predatory," hissed Archminister Zarek of the Eltharians, his spindly form shivering despite the heat. "How do your people survive here?" "We learned to be smarter than our predators," Lyra replied simply. "That's the human way." As night fell, the true dangers of the rainforest emerged. The air buzzed with the sound of insects, and the team discovered the existence of venomous creatures, spiders, snakes, and even frogs with toxins potent enough to kill several beings with a single touch. Glatt, a gelatinous Urig researcher, recoiled after accidentally brushing against a thorn-covered plant. "This world is alive in every sense," Glatt said, his gelatinous form wobbling nervously. "But it doesn't welcome visitors." The researchers' equipment soon began to struggle against the relentless humidity and microbial life. Devices corroded, and sterilization protocols failed against the sheer diversity of bacteria and viruses. Dr. Zaltir's suit suffered a breach after a mosquito bite, exposing him to a cocktail of allergens and pathogens. The team scrambled to stabilize him, while Lyra calmly explained that such bites were part of the experience. "This planet," Zaltir wheezed as he recovered, "is not a place for the weak." The researchers realized that Earth's environment was not just hostile, it was relentless. Its ecosystems evolved in constant competition, where every species fought for survival. Even the vegetation seemed aggressive, with vines that strangled trees and plants that released toxins into the soil to kill rivals. It became clear why Earth was a death world. But the most unsettling realization came as they observed human settlements in the rainforest. Small villages thrived in harmony with the jungle, their inhabitants adapting to its challenges. The researchers were stunned by the ingenuity on display: homes built on stilts to avoid flooding, traps designed to catch predators, and medicines derived from the very plants that could kill. "These humans are not just surviving," muttered Zaltir. "They are thriving." "They've done so for thousands of years," Lyra replied. "And this is just one part of Earth." The researchers barely had time to process this revelation before a sudden storm swept through the rainforest. Trees swayed violently, and lightning illuminated the dark canopy. The team took shelter, their advanced equipment struggling to function in the chaos. Lyra sat calmly as the aliens panicked around her. "This is Earth," she said. "It doesn't give you time to rest. You either adapt or perish." As the storm raged, the aliens began to understand why Earth was classified as a death world. It wasn't just its predators or its microbes. It was the unrelenting pressure it exerted on every living thing. On this planet, only the adaptable survived, and humans had become the masters of adaptation. By the time the storm subsided, the alien team was shaken. They had expected hostility, but what they found was a world that actively challenged life to grow stronger. As they prepared to explore other parts of the planet, one thought lingered in their minds: if Earth could forge a species as resilient as humans, what else might it be hiding? The investigative team moved on from the Amazon basin to study other regions of Earth, each chosen for its unique dangers. What they encountered left the alien researchers increasingly unsettled. It became clear that Earth was not merely a death world by classification. It was a crucible of relentless adversity that had shaped its inhabitants into something extraordinary. Their next destination was the African savanna. From the safety of their transport craft, the researchers observed herds of animals grazing peacefully, but the tranquility didn't last. A lioness, crouched low in the grass, leaped forward in a blur of muscle and precision. The prey, a young antelope, attempted to escape, but within seconds, it was over. Dr. Zaltier recorded the scene, his gaseous form pulsating with agitation. The predators here are highly specialized. Every movement is calculated, every attack efficient. How do humans coexist in such an environment? They learn to outthink their predators, Lyra explained. Thousands of years ago, humans hunted these animals with nothing but spears and strategy. Now, we protect them as part of our ecosystem. This interplay of survival and stewardship baffled the aliens. On death worlds, the expectation was that intelligent species would avoid danger whenever possible. Humans, however, seemed to embrace it. The team moved to the Pacific Ocean, where they studied Earth's aquatic ecosystems. Glatt, the gelatinous Urig researcher, nearly liquefied in fear when a great white shark breached the water, its massive jaws snapping shut around a fleeing seal. "That creature is a living weapon," Glatt exclaimed. "How can humans willingly enter these waters?" "Not only do we enter," Lyra said with a smirk, "but we've also developed ways to swim alongside them." She showed them footage of marine biologists tagging sharks for research, and the aliens stared in stunned silence. Their next destination was the frozen tundra of the Arctic. The team shivered in their insulated suits as they watched polar bears roaming the ice, hunting seals with cunning and patience. Even the climate itself seemed hostile, with blizzards rolling in without warning. Dr. Zaltier struggled to reconcile the data. "Your species not only survives in these extreme conditions, but thrives. You build settlements here, where no other species would dare." "It's not just survival," Lyra said. "It's adaptation. Humanity thrives because it learned to master the challenges of this world." As they traveled, the alien team documented Earth's geological instability. In the shadow of Mount St. Helens, they examined the aftermath of volcanic eruptions that had wiped out entire landscapes. In Japan, they observed earthquake recovery zones, where humans had constructed buildings designed to sway with the tremors rather than collapse. "The planet itself is hostile," Archminister Zarek remarked, his spindly limbs twitching. "Earth doesn't merely tolerate life, it seems to test it constantly." The realization hit the team with full force during a visit to the Pacific's Ring of Fire. As they hovered above the churning magma of an active volcano, a sudden earthquake shook the region. The tremor triggered a tsunami, sending massive waves surging toward the coastline. From the safety of their craft, the aliens observed humans activating evacuation protocols. Entire towns moved with practiced efficiency, guided by warning systems humans had engineered to detect these natural disasters. By the time the tsunami reached the shore, most of the population had already escaped to safety. "These people don't just survive Earth," Zaltier said in awe. "They've learned to predict its attacks." Lyra nodded. "It's a dance we've perfected over millennia. Earth challenges us, and we rise to meet it." The most shocking discovery came not from Earth's predators, its climate, or its geological activity, but from the microscopic world. The alien team's sterilization suits failed to protect them from Earth's viruses and bacteria. Within days, half the team fell ill from infections their advanced immune systems couldn't comprehend. Dr. Zaltier, recovering from a viral infection in the ship's medbay, turned to Lyra with incredulity. Your species evolved alongside these microscopic killers? How do you survive such relentless biological warfare? By adapting, Lyra replied simply. Our immune systems fight back. We innovate, creating medicines and vaccines to outpace these threats. On Earth, every battle, whether it's against a predator or a microbe, forces us to grow stronger. The aliens began to understand why humans were unique among Deathworld species. Most intelligent life forms avoided danger, finding ways to mitigate or escape from it. Humans, however, leaned into adversity. They didn't just adapt, they evolved with purpose, turning the planet's unrelenting hostility into their greatest strength. As the team prepared to leave for their next destination, Glatt voiced what they were all thinking. This planet isn't a death world because of its dangers alone. It's a death world because it creates something even more dangerous: humans. Dr. Zaltier nodded. Earth isn't just a world of chaos. It's a forge. And its children are its greatest weapons. The alien research team's investigations of Earth had already revealed a planet of unrelenting chaos, where life adapted not just to survive but to thrive against impossible odds. But the deeper they delved into humanity's history and behavior, the more they began to realize that humans were not merely a product of Earth's brutality. They had become its masters, capable of reshaping the very forces that sought to destroy them. Their journey took them to urban centers, places where humanity's ingenuity had transformed inhospitable environments into thriving metropolises. The team stood at the base of a skyscraper in Tokyo, marveling at its ability to sway with the earthquakes that frequently shook the region. This structure doesn't resist the planet's power, said Dr. Zaltier, his gaseous form flickering with awe. It moves with it. Lyra nodded. That's humanity's way. When we can't overpower something, we adapt to coexist with it. But it wasn't just Earth's physical dangers that the team sought to understand, it was humanity's response to conflict. The next stop was a military base in the Nevada desert, where the team witnessed a demonstration of human ingenuity in warfare. Jets roared overhead, their sonic booms shaking the ground, while tanks and soldiers moved in perfect coordination. Glatt, the gelatinous Urig, recoiled in horror as a missile streaked toward its target, obliterating it in a fiery explosion. This is horrifying. You've turned destruction into an art form. It's not about destruction, Lyra corrected. It's about preparation. Earth taught us that survival often means fighting back. When faced with danger, we don't just endure, we confront it head-on. The researchers were taken aback by humanity's duality. Despite their terrifying capacity for war, humans also displayed an unparalleled ability to collaborate. Footage of international humanitarian missions, disaster relief efforts, and space exploration projects revealed a species that could unite against common threats. Commander Tharak of the Krontar, who had joined the team as an observer, was particularly intrigued. The Krontar were a warrior race, and he recognized elements of his own people in the humans. But he also saw something unique. You do not fight for conquest or honor, Tharak remarked during a conversation with Lyra. You fight for survival and for the protection of others. It is curious. It's our nature, Lyra replied. On Earth, no one survives alone. We learned that the hard way. The team's exploration continued into humanity's history, where they uncovered stories that defied logic. They learned of humans crossing frozen tundras during the Ice Age, building civilizations in deserts, and venturing into space long before mastering their own planet. What drives you to take such risks? Asked Archminister Zarek, his spindly form trembling with incredulity. Surely, with so much danger on your planet, survival alone would be enough. It's never just about survival, Lyra explained. It's about thriving. Every challenge pushes us to grow, to innovate, to explore. Earth may be a death world, but it's also a teacher. The aliens began to understand why humans were so uniquely formidable. Earth had forged them not only to endure but to conquer adversity through ingenuity, cooperation, and unyielding determination. Each trial the planet threw at them had honed their instincts, strengthened their bodies, and sharpened their minds. One of the most profound moments came during the team's visit to a hospital in a city recovering from a recent earthquake. They watched as doctors and nurses worked tirelessly to save lives, as neighbors helped rebuild homes, and as survivors comforted one another. Dr. Zaltier floated silently, his shimmering form reflecting the lights of the hospital. Finally, he spoke. This is what sets you apart. Even in the face of overwhelming devastation, you persist. You help one another. Lyra smiled faintly. That's what being human means. On Earth, the only way to survive is together. By the end of their investigations, the alien team's perception of humanity had shifted. They no longer saw humans as merely inhabitants of a death world. They saw them as the ultimate product of one. Earth had shaped them into a species that thrived in adversity, capable of not only surviving the harshest conditions but bending them to their will. As the team prepared to present their findings to the Galactic Council, GLAT summarized their collective realization. Humans are not a species that fears danger. They are a species forged by it. Earth didn't just test them, it made them stronger than the tests themselves. Dr. Zaltier added, his voice tinged with respect and unease. The galaxy must tread carefully. Humanity's strength lies not in their aggression, but in their ability to overcome anything together. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber was packed. Representatives from every major species had gathered to hear the findings of the team sent to investigate Earth. The tension in the room was palpable as the lead researcher, Dr. Zaltier, floated to the center. His gaseous form shimmered, reflecting the Council's many colors and shapes. He began, his voice steady but laced with awe. The planet known as Earth is, without question, deserving of its classification as a Class 13 death world. Its environmental hostility, geological instability, predatory ecosystems, and microbial threats make it a place where life struggles to survive. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Death world classifications were not uncommon, but Class 13 was practically unheard of. Only a handful of planets across the galaxy shared the designation, and none had produced an intelligent species, until now. Dr. Zaltier continued. However, the most remarkable discovery was not the planet itself, but its dominant species, humans. They have not merely survived this death world, they have thrived. Earth has forged them into a species unlike any other in the galaxy. The chamber fell silent as Zaltier elaborated. Humans are the ultimate product of relentless adversity. Earth's predators forced them to become cooperative hunters and strategists. Its diseases made them resilient and innovative. Its natural disasters taught them to adapt, to engineer solutions, and to prepare for the unimaginable. Where other species might flee or succumb, humans endure. And in enduring, they grow stronger. Archminister Zarek, ever cautious, raised his voice. Are you suggesting, Dr. Zaltier, that these humans pose a threat to galactic stability? Dr. Zaltier hesitated before answering. They are not a threat in the traditional sense. Humans do not seek conquest or domination. Their history shows they fight only when provoked or when survival demands it. However, their resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity make them uniquely capable of overcoming challenges, even those posed by other advanced civilizations. Commander Tharek of the Krontar stood, his massive frame casting a shadow over the chamber. I have observed these humans firsthand, he growled. They are not like us, yet they are also not so different. They fight for survival and for each other. It is a strength we would be wise to respect. The council turned its attention to Ambassador Lyra Vey, the human representative. She stood tall, her expression calm but resolute. Ambassador, the crystalline Draenic speaker intoned, you have heard the findings of this investigation. What do you say in defense of your species? Lyra met the speaker's gaze without hesitation. With respect, we do not need to defend ourselves. Humanity has never sought to impose its will on others. We entered this galaxy as explorers, traders, and allies. Yes, we come from a dangerous world. Yes, we have been shaped by adversity. But those traits make us valuable, not dangerous. We understand survival because we have had to fight for it every step of the way. She paused, letting her words sink in before continuing. Earth is our home, and it has taught us that nothing is given freely, not peace, not progress, not safety. But it has also taught us the value of collaboration. On Earth, no one survives alone. And in this galaxy, we hope to extend that principle. The chamber erupted in debate. Some species, like the cautious Yultharians, argued for humanity's containment, fearing what such a resilient species might achieve if provoked. Others, like the warrior Krontar, saw humanity as a potential ally, a species capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with them in the galaxy's harshest trials. Finally, the Draenic speaker raised a crystalline arm, silencing the room. The council has deliberated. Humanity shall remain part of this alliance, but under careful observation. Their unique origins and capabilities make them an asset, but also a risk. For now we shall welcome them, but with vigilance. As the session ended, Ambassador Vey left the chamber alongside Drs. Altier and Commander Tharak. The Krontar warrior spoke first. You argued well, Ambassador. But know this, your people's resilience will be both your greatest strength and your greatest burden. Others will fear what they do not understand. Lyra nodded. Fear is natural. Earth has taught us that. But it also taught us to rise above it. Dr. Altier floated beside them, his voice tinged with curiosity. Your people intrigue me, Ambassador. You have survived a death world of the highest class. The galaxy will watch to see what you do next. Lyra smiled faintly. Then I suggest they watch closely. Humanity doesn't just survive. We adapt, we innovate, and we thrive. And when we face the unknown, we don't back down. As she stepped onto her shuttle, Lyra couldn't help but glance back at the council chamber. Humanity had been underestimated before, but Earth had taught its children one unshakable truth. In a galaxy full of challenges, survival wasn't enough. They would thrive, and they would do it on their own terms.